Mamba out.
Drippin', saucy, yeah. Bitch, I do this often. My bitch is bad, she always in office. Don't got a tags on running my body. Can't see the pads, I'm living too fast. With 20 my dash, I'm up, but I lost him. He wanna brag, I emptied his bag and took what he had. Don't care what it cost him. Then he broke, he turned to a hoe. I seen him before, the shit get exhausting. Ran out of hope, I wanna be known. The stage of my soul, you Randy Moss. I even broke.
Yo, what is everybody? Welcome back to Sports Town There's 80. I'm Darius. So that's 80 months, and thank you for joining here on Sports Town There's 80. If you haven't already, make sure this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, the comment below, and also make sure to leave for post notifications for every video and update from the channel. And today we have our NFL free agency reaction day 2. And on day 1 we had a lot of moves, especially about the New England Patriots. And day 2 we had a lot of breaking news and a lot of sneaky big news. So Aiden, I'm going to give you the floor here. What free agency signings happened on day 2?
Again, this is an episode recorded after the events of day 2, just to be clear. So day 3 is currently going on while we're recording. So if we miss something important, we'll talk about it tomorrow, just to clarify with everybody. All right, so the first signing I'm going to start with for day 1 is James White is, per sources, going to sign with the Buccaneers, per Adam Schefter.
2 words. Tom Brady. Tom Brady absolutely loves James White. We know the success James White and Tom Brady had when they won multiple Super Bowls back in New England. Of course, Leonard Fournette may be picked up by another team from what I'm hearing. Leonard Fournette may be returning back to the Buccaneers. Right, we all know his Super Bowl performance, but James White is a perfect addition by the Tampa Buccaneers. I said this earlier in day 1, on day 1 episode for free agency. The Buccaneers trying to run it back, especially when that resigning Gronk, and they had a phenomenal free agency. Winners, most definitely, but Tampa Buccaneers bringing James White.
All right, Shaquill Griffin signing a 3-year, $44.5 million deal with $29 million guaranteed with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, Aiden, the Jacksonville Jaguars started off NFL free agency with the most cap space out of any NFL team, with $71.5 million in cap space. Now they're bringing in, I would say, an okay, solid cornerback, and I believe you said Shaquill Griffin.
Yeah,
Shaquill Griffin. Now, don't forget they brought in Marvin Jones. I know we will get to that later in the episode. They're trying to surround pretty much Trevor Lawrence, who was without a doubt 150% the first pick in the NFL draft. They brought in Urban Meyer, a new head coach, just trying to surround Trevor Lawrence with a solid team to start off his NFL career.
all right, Big Cat Leonard Williams signing with the Giants for a $63 million deal with $45 million fully guaranteed.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Leonard Williams was franchise tagged by the Giants, I believe, a year prior to this deal.
Yes, he was.
Now, Leonard Williams is one of the best players on that Giants squad. Of course, Saquon Barkley's coming back from injury. Leonard Williams is a huge force. Are the Giants going to win the NFC East? Most definitely not. As always, going to get like a top 10 pick in the draft. No disrespect. This is Daniel Jones' proven year. This is the year where Dave Gettleman decides if Daniel Jones is going to be their franchise starting quarterback for many years to come. Of course, great deal by Leonard Williams. Well deserved.
Andy Dalton moving on from the Cowboys signed a 1-year deal with the Chicago Bears, who are also rumored to be in the hunt for Russell Wilson. What are your ideas on both of those 2 topics?
Now, from multiple sources, the Chicago Bears did reach out to the Seattle Seahawks multiple times to acquire Russell Wilson, but the Seattle Seahawks and Pete Carroll pretty much hung the phone on him. They said they were not trading Russell Wilson, so the option was to get probably the best quarterback left on the board in free agency, which was Andy Dalton. And as a Cowboys fan, we won't miss you at all, Andy. You're going to Chicago.
Plus, y'all didn't have the cap space to retain him. No how.
Right, you have the Chicago Bears have a Super Bowl contending defense. I feel sorry for Khalil Mack. I feel sorry for Akeem Hicks and Eddie Jackson and the rest of that defense, that offense. Allen Robinson, I don't even think he should sign the franchise tag. He should move on. Allen Robinson needs to go somewhere else. I think he should go to the Jets if he wants to, because they're building a squad over there in New York. The Chicago Bears just let down Chicago Bears fans time and time again. Going back to the days of Jay Cutler, now you draft Mitchell Trubisky, I believe, over Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, which was a terrible deal. Ryan Pace and his staff needs to be fired immediately. I believe come next offseason, they're going to be fired. Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace are all going to be fired. The Chicago Bears are dumpster fire as of now.
Another thing quickly on the Russell Wilson situation. They haven't made any moves to sign any of the top offensive linemen. Now it's basically over. All the top, Lindsey is gone. Thuney is gone. Trent Williams, who we'll be getting to in a minute, is gone. Most of the top guys are off the board. They missed their window. They need to either trade. They need to get involved in that trade for Orlando Brown Jr. They need to get involved in that trade immediately and also find their way back into the first round, because late in the first round, there are still going to be some amazing offensive linemen left, as we went over in our draft video 1.0, 2.0 coming soon, everybody. So they need to get involved soon and fast. All right, our next free agency move here, Tyrod Taylor reaches a 1-year, $12.5 million deal to back up Deshaun Watson as of now in Houston.
Well, of course, from what I've heard, Deshaun Watson is going to play another snap in Houston Texas uniform. So I do believe Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starter, because I don't believe Deshaun Watson is going to report to training camp. I don't believe he's going to play a game this season. He will sit out if he needs to. He has enough money to spend if the NFL does, and Roger Goodell does decide to fine him due to missing games, etc., for no reason at all. But Tyrod Taylor, phenomenal quarterback. We all know the injuries he has suffered and the mishaps he has suffered in these past couple seasons, up into his days in Cleveland, where he got injured, and of course, Baker Mayfield to come to the scene, and then he went to the Chargers week 2, punched along by the team doctor. Then Justin Herbert, the reigning offensive rookie of the year, came into the scene as well. Now he's going to Houston, where you have limited weapons offensively and defensively. Tyrod Taylor, nothing but the best of him. So phenomenal quarterback.
As you mentioned before, Marvin Jones signed a 2-year, $14.5 million deal with $9.2 million fully guaranteed.
Now, Aiden, I mentioned this earlier when we were talking about Shaquille Griffin. They're just trying to surround Trevor Lawrence with a squad, and with the wide receiver core for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I still believe that DJ Chark on the roster. Now you're bringing in Marvin.
Yep, DJ Chark's a Pro Bowler.
Yep. Now you're bringing in Marvin Jones, who I believe has had 9 touchdowns each in the past couple seasons for the Detroit Lions when he was paired up with Kenny Golladay. Don't forget they signed up, I believe, Carlos Hyde to a typical veteran deal for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're just surrounding Trevor Lawrence with a solid roster.
Right, Jacoby Brissett signed a 1-year deal with the Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins lost Ryan Fitzpatrick to the Washington football team. Tua Tagovailoa was going to be the starter. He's, of course, in the draft, the 3rd overall pick. To start off, in our mock draft, in our first mock draft episode, you have them taking Jalen Waddle. Of course, one of the best wide receivers in the draft. Jacoby Brissett, we saw what happened when Andrew Luck retired that season. After that, then backing up Phillip Rivers during his final season. But Jacoby Brissett, he's a solid backup quarterback. Now, if anything happens to Tua Tagovailoa, I think Jacoby Brissett could be a solid option if Brian Flores does not believe Tua Tagovailoa is the right place to go terms in the future of the Miami Dolphins. But a solid signing for a typical veteran backup quarterback.
Emmanuel Sanders, $1-year, $6 million deal with the Buffalo Bills with $50K in incentives. What are your thoughts?
Now you look at the Buffalo Bills here. You release John Brown, who's a speedy wide receiver. You're trying to clear up cap space. Now you're bringing Emmanuel Sanders, who dealt with some injuries last season in New Orleans. Right, when Michael Thomas was injured, he took on the number 1 wide receiver role. I believe when Michael Thomas was injured, I believe they lost that game following Michael Thomas' injury. I think it was to the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. Emmanuel Sanders, he didn't have a solid game, and Saints fans were questioning would he be a solid option. Now you go down there to Buffalo, where they just came off an AFC Championship game appearance against the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe, are the second best team in the AFC. You pair up with Stephon Diggs, pair up with Cole Beasley, pair up with Josh Allen. That defense is stacked. My guy, Tre'Davious White, um, Michael Hyde, and Ed Oliver, and others. Great signing. Great pickup by the Bills.
Cornerback William Jackson agrees to a 3-year deal worth $42 million with the Washington football team.
Washington football team has one of the best defenses in the league and the best defensive women in the league. Talking about Ryan Kerrigan and Chase Young. They brought in Ryan Fitzpatrick to compete with Taylor Heineke for the starting quarterback job. Offensively, don't forget yourself, Antonio Gibson, Scary Terry McLaurin. Defensively wise, they're just going to build a solid defense to be the force, especially when you're competing with probably the best team in the NFC East and the Dallas Cowboys, because I believe the Washington football team, as of now, is the second best team in the NFC East. Am I saying they're a playoff team? I really don't think so, based on the competition. Look at the Minnesota Vikings, look at the Green Bay Packers, of course, other teams in the NFC West and the NFC South. Washington football team has a stacked offense, a stacked defense, one of the best defenses in the league.
All right, Trent Williams, the biggest deal of recent. I'm sorry, we're bleeding a little bit into day 3, but we got to cover a couple. But we got to get a couple more minutes into this episode. He becomes the highest paid offensive lineman in the league, signing with the 49ers for a 6-year, $138 million deal with 55.1 million in guaranteed money.
Now, Ada, I'm looking at the San Francisco 49ers to start off free agency with about $32.6 million in cap space to start off free agency. Now, Trent Williams is one of the best, if not the best, offensive lineman in all of football. San Francisco 49ers. I think the 49ers are like one of the best teams that fell apart so quick. You all know last season, due to multiple injuries to Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel and Jimmy Garoppolo and Raheem Mostert, that 49ers team wasn't going to be as good this season as they were when they had a Super Bowl appearance. But the question is, are the 49ers going to come back better than ever this following season? I really don't think so, because don't forget, Richard Sherman said, he stated for the record that he's definitely not coming back to San Francisco, and I believe he's still a free agent. I still believe he's still on the market. I think he's getting the deal done. I think the most likely scenario for him is to go to the New York Jets. You know, he spoke highly of their head coach. Like I was saying, Trent Williams, one of the best offensive linemen in the league. San Francisco 49ers, I know the future holds for them, especially in the type of division of football in the NFC West. Are they playoff contender? That's another topic for another time, but phenomenal signing. Kudos to Trent Williams. Well deserved.
All right, again, going into day 3 a little bit, AJ Green signing a 1-year deal worth $8.5 million with Arizona Cardinals.
This is a huge pickup by the Arizona Cardinals, even though AJ Green has suffered injuries, who derailed the seasons and derailed his prime for these past couple seasons. Phenomenal pickup. Yeah, literally one of the best wide receiver corps, not the best wide receiver corps in all of football, with D-Hop and AJ Green. Don't forget about Larry Fitzgerald. We don't know if he's going to retire this offseason or not. Don't forget, you still have Kenyon Drake in the backfield, Kyle Maris, quarterback defensively. Don't forget, you still have Buda Baker, Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt. Phenomenal stacked team, and they're most definitely, as of now, to me, a playoff contender in the NFC.
All right, and our last free agency we're going to go over for day 2 only. Day 2 only. Got to make that one clear. Day 2 only is the Jamal Williams signing to the Detroit Lions for 2 years worth $7.5 million.
I really don't know why you signed with the Lions. I mean, you could have picked any other 31 NFL teams to go to, but you picked literally the worst franchise in all of football, who hasn't won a playoff game, I believe, since 1992, when Barry Sanders was still playing. We weren't even born. Our parents were still in high school later. You look at it, man. There's really no reason for Jamal Williams to go there. I understand that he has been in the shadow of Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers and Vontae Adams and Robert Tonyan and Valdez Scantling and during the offense with the Packers. But I do believe that his career, he has recorded like 0 fumbles throughout his career. But don't forget, you're still playing with the Lions. And your guy, Jared Goff's quarterback for the Lions. Defensively, who else?
Again, not my guy. He doesn't play for the Rams anymore. He is now their problem.
All right, Lions, we don't know what to say. Just good luck. Good luck.
All right, well, will conclude our free agency signings of day 2 and some of day 3. Again, day 3 full coverage will be coming out tomorrow. But without further ado, I'm Aiden. That's Darius. It's been Sports Now with Darius today, and we'll see you guys later.
Peace and love.